Hello, beautiful people. Hello, internet. I'm happy to be here again after a short break. But now we are back and back with a bang. It's great to be here to share the knowledge, to get the knowledge and reactions from you. And, it's going to be great. We're going to enjoy and to love it. So, welcome if you're coming across this channel for the first time, and welcome back for the members that have always been here. Please hit that subscribe button and check out our other videos for such interesting content. So, without wasting much time, today I want us to discuss matters politics and Kenyan politics for that matter. Yeah, so for those that have an idea, maybe have heard in the recent past, my country Kenya has been gripped by a tense and a serious wave of protest. The protest has been dubbed as Gen Z protest, owing to the fact that has been majorly fueled or led by the young people, the Generation Z. But, honestly, I have personally observed, and people have observed, that the protesters cut across the full spectrum of ages, people of all ages coming out. Voicing their displeasure on the government of the day, and calling the government to account. So, in the recent weeks, this protest, actually, the chain of protest, began on the very first day of the beginning of the protest, that was dubbed Occupy Parliament. I personally must say that, in my observation, the Kenyan population, not only the young people, have really grown so agitated with their government lately and in the recent past. And it's only until the last nail on the coffin that was hammered in that everything, exploded and people feel the streets. Young people feel the streets. So the first ever of this chain of protests began a few weeks ago, and it was actually it has been one very different protest from anything that has ever occurred in this country in the name of protest against government, against power, against politicians, or against anything. In that it has been one that has been purely been organized by young people using technology, using social media, using their phones, using what is most accessible to them to organize, to fuel it. And, so the hashtag that really began this thing was when the young people decided that was high time to occupy parliament, and the last nail was the finance bill of the year, the finance bill 2024, that majority of Kenyans, if not all Kenyans, deemed very oppressing, and with so much heightened and unreasonable taxes. And young people just mobilized on social media, came out to the streets, overran the police, and accessed parliament building. It was that day history was written in Kenyan books. And so since from that time, it has become a chain, like I have said. Mostly this has taken place on Tuesdays and Thursdays of almost every week, and it has only been being planned, arranged on purely social media. So at some point, I believe, and I will want to say that the government never expected this was going to happen. When the hashtag Occupy Parliament, Occupy Nairobi CBD was going around on social media, because this had never happened, I believe the political class did not believe that. In fact, we the young people did not really believe it would have gone this much. It would have really been as successful as it really became. So when that happened, and reality dawned, the president and his team now came to a realization that we've been something is really out right now. We have to do something, and I think the government panicked. In my opinion, I'd say the government panicked. The government fumbled. The government didn't know what to do. The president was running up and down. So at first, the government, the president, actually, in response to this crisis, because it's become a full crisis, it has affected the country economically. It has affected the country so bad. He went ahead to fire the entire of his cabinet. Everybody went home. Say almost everybody in his cabinet, all of his ministers went home, and he didn't know what to do, really, I can say so. So this is when he actually announced firing of his cabinet. So let's listen in and come back and continue.
In line with the powers given to me by Article 1521 and 1525B of the Constitution and Sections 12 of the Office of the Attorney General's Act, decided to dismiss with immediate effect all the cabinet secretaries and Attorney General of the Republic of Kenya, of the Cabinet of Kenya, except the Prime Cabinet Secretary and Cabinet Secretary for Secretary and Cabinet Secretary for Foreign Affairs and Diaspora Affairs. And of course, the Office of the Deputy President is not affected in any way.
Okay, yeah. So the president decided to fire his cabinet in an attempt to appease the young people that completely agitated and that had gotten out of control, still out of control. So really, in a reconciliatory tone, the president called for dialogue with the young people, and a multi-sectoral, something. There's political jargons, but that did not really materialize or succeed, because I'll say the government does not know what is happening. When he called for dialogue, this is, and this country is made up almost entirely, majority of the population of this country is young people. If you are calling for a dialogue to a completely agitated, disillusioned young people who are coming out on the streets because they can't take it no more, it's really going to be, you are going to really have to do your homework, because the young people have often been saying we are tribeless, and like our folks, our parents, we don't pledge political allegiance to any parties, and we don't have leaders. We are out on the streets because we have to. So it's really going to have to be hard for the president to have his so-called dialogue, because who is he going to talk to? He even went ahead to host or to apparently attend a meeting that was hosted on a space on X. But I'll tell you that when I say the government really barely knows what's happening, is what is the most perfect time that all of the people, how are you going to get to listen to all of the young people on X, on a space on X? Because this is a country that is over 50% made up of young people. This is a country of 50 million people. Are you going to have 30 million people, if not the entire 50 million, on X giving their views, having a serious talk there? No, I doubt if that is really going to really become a way for the president. So this is when he actually accepted to go to talks with the young people on, apparently X.
President William Ruto has expressed his willingness to engage in dialogue on social media with disgruntled Kenyan youth who are protesting against various issues in his regime, including tax policies. According to the head of state, he is willing to engage with Generation Z on platforms like X Space to find a lasting solution to the impasse witnessed in the country. Ruto's comments come after the protesting youth refused to participate in the multi-sectoral forum proposed by the head of state.
Good friends, the young people of our nation, my sons and daughters who supported me to win the election. I hear you. In fact, I think it was on your headline, a gentleman from my village who was saying, the president has let us down. Many children in this village are not getting jobs locally. That is why they are going abroad. Little did he know, my good friend from my village, that the children, the 500 of his colleagues around our village, are actually part of my plan on export of labor. They have actually, I intentionally supported them to leave the country because we got them jobs outside Kenya. My very good sons and daughters, let me tell you that I value what you do. I have heard what you have said. I have seen what you have done. And you have made recommendations. Some I will outright implement, on cutting down on government legacies and cutting down on offices that we can. I will deal with some of the issues that you have raised. You have given me some difficult choices. I will suggest to you how we can together go about the difficult choices that you have put on the table on some of the issues. But I want to promise you that in the engagement that we're going to have, God willing, in the next couple of days, I think we've agreed with some of your colleagues here that maybe Thursday, Friday, I will be thoroughly clear, and I want you to be equally clear on what you think, the suggestions you have on how to take our country forward. My request to you is that we have a country to keep. It's the only home we have. We must do whatever it is that we do within the parameters of the law, respecting one another, and talking to each other with respect so that we can move forward together as a country. I am looking forward to this engagement in the space that you will recommend. I'm told X is the space that you want us to engage. And I have committed that I will find myself into that space. I will ask one of you guys in that space to host us so that we can have this conversation as I do what I must do to get.
The president actually met a few young people, invited a few young people for a talk in State House. But the young people have always insisted that we are leaderless. So those that went there cannot really claim to be the leaders to the young people, to the protest or anything. So it was not going to quell things. And I often like to say that when you know the why, the how becomes easy. The government has no idea, does not know why these people are disgruntled, agitated, unhappy, why they are protesting. So the how on how to solve the crisis is definitely going to be hard. Once you know the why, the how becomes easy. Now, as latest as of today, as we make this video, there has been, the usual running battles in the streets of the city and, just around the country between police and young protesters. And so in a sharp turn of events, in the backdrop of a reconciliatory or a conciliatory tone that the president had and invited people for a talk that didn't materialize, he seemed to get agitated, and now he's blaming the civil society, the NGOs, of funding and sponsoring the chaos, the protest. And now he is rather really just showing his agitation. I don't know if it is going to help now that he's going to be agitated on an already very, very agitated population. And he said he's going to do what he has to do to protect, apparently, the country, the people, and property. And that did not look like, that continues to paint into the picture that the government has no idea what is really happening. As a young person, I will want to say this, that these people, if there is anybody or anything that is sponsoring this protest, is the government itself. The inactions, some actions as well of the government, are the key sponsors of the protest. Anything else, the disillusionment, when the young people have seen that it seems like this government is not taking us anywhere. Corruption, rampant corruption in the government are the key sponsors, and generally an unsatisfied population, is sponsoring the chaos, the protest. So what is the solution, you might want to ask? So now what is the solution? Now there is nobody to talk to. Nobody is willing to come forward as a leader because there is actually no leader. And we claim that nobody is sponsoring the young people. The right thing to do is for the government to do what it's supposed to do. As simple as that. What is dialogue going to do? What is the dialogue supposed to help? The constitution is here. Follow the constitution to the letter. Cut down on unnecessary government expenditure. Fire your friends that you are fixing into government to find jobs. That is part of corruption. And just basically fight corruption and let everything move as constitutionally as it doesn't matter. Because I personally never envisage myself being so unsatisfied and feeling the urge to confront, the authorities myself, until it gets to a point where so many people are hopeless. It is the hopelessness that is pushing young people that are so much full of energy, so much full of ambitions, so much full of the zest and the zeal, so much full of dreams, are waste. When a man has so much energy and nothing to lose, it becomes very dangerous. So I don't think it is time for the government to get agitated and start, trying to point fingers and find scapegoats. Now, after he fired his cabinet, he recently, is it last week? uh, you know, uh, he nominated another team of apparently the first 11. In the first 11, for for a government that is really confused, after firing, he recalled 6 of those that had been fired in the previous cabinet. So if out of the first 11, more than 50% you just recycled, in this week, the following week, when he was supposed to call to nominate another batch of, the 10, he's probably just going to really recycle the same people that the population is not satisfied with. And as if that is not enough, in the 6 that he has recycled, 3 actually were recalled back to the same ministries they had been fired from. So it looked like they were given some days off, or something. So the government is taking young people and the population of the country for a ride. And now this is a population of very many young and learned people, and of the age of information. It's easy for me to just get into my phone and read my constitution, and know what is. So the government has a lot of work to do, a lot of homework, but the government must now stop the blame games, scapegoats, pointing fingers, and really just sit down and find the why. If you find the why, then you will find the how. But failure to which, I don't see the end to this running, the chase, the mouse and rat. Actually, so Kenya has been in the headlines, internationally, and this has become like a chain of reaction. It has had a ripple effect. This is a revolution, a full revolution. So as of today, there was a similar kind of a protest in a neighboring country of Uganda, and that was dubbed Occupy the Ugandan Parliament, and Kampala, the capital city of Uganda. This same issue has been talked about in the parliament in Ghana, and Nigeria has also been contemplating on doing this. Many leaders from across the divide regionally in Africa and beyond have come out to support this. Once the young people realize that when they mount much pressure, the president and the government is going to listen, I personally believe that has also given them more reason to come out to the street. Why does the government, out of 50 million Kenyans, you keep recycling the same political characters, your friends, or political failures into less than 30 positions? Is that really, is the president trying to tell us there are no so many other qualified Kenyans, or what's really happening? So this is a full revolution, and young people of Africa and of this continent must now stand up on their feet and speak truth to power. In all countries in Africa, it's time to abolish these political regimes that belong to our grandparents and parents, these that have the corrupt regimes. And it's time to carry out a revolution, time to make Africa great as well. Time to really show the potential of the young people of Africa and young people of the world. And I personally feel like this is time. It's time for change. It's time for good leadership. This has gotten us thinking that the best thing a leader, a political leader, can give his people is just good governance. Good governance is very, very vital. So we still are here to see what's going to transpire. The young people in Kenya are not relenting. Uganda has started. Is even in countries, neighboring countries like in Tanzania, you can hear the people on social media how they are really in support of what the young people in Kenya are doing. And once you hear other people love what you do, they are likely going to do it. So this is going to have a ripple effect, a chain of reaction, and we'll wait to see. But we really pray that the government listens to the young people, and instead of trying to circumvent and go around an obstacle that we know we know how to go about it, just hit the nail on the head. Yeah, so that is what we have for today. Please let me know what you think about this. Share your thoughts, your opinions in the comment section below. Share this video, like this video, and please, if you haven't, subscribe to this channel for more content like this, compelling, interesting, and see you in the next video.